I'm excited for you to make pumpkin cheesecake as a creamy homemade ice cream without an ice cream maker. It's naturally sweetened with maple syrup and flavor rich with cream cheese, cottage cheese, pumpkin, maple, and pumpkin pie spice. You can add extra crunch and texture with my gluten-free graham cracker bits that taste just like a pie crust. And with half the sugar grams of a traditional pumpkin cheesecake ice cream, you will feel great even after you eat this. You can make your ice cream using an upright blender or an immersion blender or a food processor like I am. We're going to start with 1.5 cups of cottage cheese, and you can use large curd, small curd, low fat, non-fat, whatever your preference. And then we'll add 1/4 cup of cream cheese and 1/3 cup of maple syrup, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon of lemon juice, and then for extra flavor, just a couple drops of maple extract. And I just pour a little bit into the lid and then pour that in. And then I'll put on the lid to my food processor and then blend this on high until it's smooth and creamy. Well, that looks fantastic. The blender has removed the curdled texture of the cottage cheese. And now's a great time to go in for a pinky test. And this is an excellent time to gauge the sweetness level. If you'd like it to be a little bit sweeter, go ahead and add another tablespoon of maple syrup. But for me, this is perfect. You'll want to have a shallow dish to pour your ice cream into, and it can be made out of glass or metal or aluminum or plastic, it really doesn't matter. But having it shallow means that your ice cream is going to freeze quicker. And next we want to scoop out about 2/3 of our ice cream mixture and pour that into the bottom of our dish. And then just very simply spread it around with your spatula. And then with the remaining ice cream in our food processor, we want to add 3/4 cup of pumpkin puree, which is different than pumpkin pie filling. And then we'll add an additional tablespoon of maple syrup just to help sweeten up the pumpkin. And for that classic pumpkin pie flavor, we want to add 1/2 teaspoon of pumpkin pie spice. And then we'll put our lid back on and blend this until smooth. Ooh, that looks perfect. And then we're going to simply pour the pumpkin layer on top of our cream cheese layer. Now you could mix all of the ingredients together at once and then you would just have one solid orange color. But I really like the aesthetic of having some of the white cream mixture as well as the pumpkin mixture separate, because then they can swirl together to make a really cool marbled effect. So I'm just going to very quickly spread out the pumpkin layer. Now to take the flavor of this ice cream to another level and to make it taste even more like a pumpkin cheesecake pie, I'm going to add my gluten-free graham cracker bits. And these are made very simply with oat and almond flour and have a little bit of maple syrup and molasses in them, which gives them a really delicious graham cracker flavor. But you could also use pre-packaged graham crackers and use gluten-free if that's your preference. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sprinkle about 1/2 cup of my graham cracker bits over the ice cream. And then to get that really beautiful marbling effect between the two different colors, I'm just gonna take a spoon, and then I'm gonna go in and just kind of like flip it over. And I'm pulling some of the white to the top and pushing some of the orange down below. And this is also helping to incorporate our graham cracker bits. Now already it looks so beautiful. And then as you're eating your ice cream, you get to taste that little bit of contrasting flavor between the two. And then I'll go through and just kind of smooth it out. This feels more like an art project than making ice cream. Which is never a bad thing. Well, this looks amazing and it smells just like pumpkin pie. So now it's ready to go into the freezer for anywhere from 2 to 4 hours or until it freezes. Well, I have one here that I made last night that I froze overnight. Now this cottage cheese ice cream is a little different than traditional ice cream in that it doesn't stay kind of soft and creamy even when it's fully frozen. So all you have to do is take it out of the freezer and just let it sit on your counter for about 10 to 15 minutes and just give it a second to thaw out, and then it's going to be nice and soft and the perfect consistency. And then we can come in with our ice cream scoop. Oh, look at that beautiful roll of ice cream. Oh my goodness, that looks amazing. Put this right into our bowl. I love the marbling between the two different colors of ice cream. Make sure we get a bite with one of the graham cracker bits. That is delicious. That tastes just like a frozen creamy pumpkin cheesecake. As soon as I bite in, I get a burst of flavor from the pumpkin and the pumpkin pie spice, and then I get that tanginess that comes in from the cream cheese and that little bit of lemon. And then it's all just wrapped up in a really creamy sweetness that comes in from the maple syrup and the cottage cheese. I love that it's not overpoweringly sweet like a traditional ice cream that's just made with a ton of sugar. This is just sweet enough to be perfectly satisfying, but then you get all those other delicious flavors from our natural clean ingredients. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with me today in my kitchen, and I've included a link to the full recipe in the video description below, and it's also on my website, gentletummy.com. And I also invite you to like and subscribe to my channel. And if you know someone else who you think would love to have a healthier ice cream option, please share this video with them. And I cannot wait to have you hang out with me again in my kitchen again.